Tûgeges.
Do you think Mount Kenya region leaders are Tûgeges?
I basically don't believe that we voted Tûgeges. If you look at what is happening in Mount Kenya region, you look at what somebody like Mheshimiwa Betty Maina from Murang'a she's doing. Look at what I follow a lot the guy from Laikipia, Mwangi Kiunjuri. Look at what some of the governors are doing in Mount Kenya region. If you call them Tûgege, then you are mistaken and you are wrong, because these people they were elected to serve people, and you can't give a birth to a child and you expect that child to start moving in 6 months, right? Whatever you are seeing, the crisis we have found ourselves in need to be sorted out. Let me tell you, and I'm sorry to use this analogy, especially to our Kikuyus. It says this, utongoria kana uthamaki ukoragwo hana ta kioro. Utongoria kana uthamaki ukoragwo hana ta kioro. Ungithie kioro ukore gikimia iguru, wae guita mai ume, tucemani nayo kima murango-ini ucio, nguga niwe wa me iguru. Niguo kana tiguo? Niguo. Na rĩngĩ we makorire ha? Umakorire hau. Wongerera kana wongerera kana ronyita. Uguo utongoria ukoragwo hana uguo. What I'm saying in another languages, for the sake of do not understand Kikuyu, leadership is like this. It's like you going to a toilet and you find that toilet is spoiled, and you do not take measure to clean up the mess that you have found in the toilet. So if I meet with you coming out of that toilet, which is already messed up, I will have no time to question you about who messed up the toilet. I will think.
Hi guys, and welcome back to yet another episode ya Huku kwa Mheshimiwa Bendawa, and thank you once again for joining us. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for sharing our content, and thank you. If you are new here, consider subscribing. Please consider subscribing so that you can help us move to the next level. So leo niko na kiongozi hapa, na leo anaonekana amepigwa luku pia, na atatuelezea ni nani. Maybe last time alikuwa hapa alisema mwenye huwa anampiga luku ni mtu anaitwa bibi yake. Karibu sana kiongozi.
Asante.
Uko fiti?
Kabisa. I'm fine. You are doing well?
I'm doing well.
We thank God for that.
Umepotea sana bana.
Mimi niko piga job hapa na pale. Kujaribu tuone venye tutasaidia watu wetu.
Asante sana. So apparently hatujapatana na wewe. Though nimekutafuta sana. Nilikuwa nataka at least uzungumzie haya maneno ya bipartisan talk. Tumepata upande wa mlego wa Azimio. Umechagua viongozi wake pale wenye watakaa chini, na pia upande ule mwingine wa Kenya Kwanza ama wa kiserikali umeteua majority leader pale Kimani Ichung'wah na wengine wengi pale akina Aaron Cheruiyot. Kikwako unaonaje hii bipartisan talk? Where is it leading us?
Okay, first of all is to appreciate, and before we go on, ni wasalimia watu wetu wa Kenyans wherever they are. Ambia tuko salama, and so far so good. Tunashukuru kwa sababu yanaoronga ina maandamano, we are able to go to work. Sasa tusikiangalia for the last ni wiki mbili sasa, I think 2 weeks watu wameweza kuingia kuchapa job hapa na pale, and that's the Kenya that we want. So moving forward, when it comes to the bipartisan talks,
director ananiambia uwakumbushe majina.
Oh, my name is Maina Kamunya. Mimi ni kiongozi wa vijana, wanabiashara, na pia wakili, AJC. We thank God for all of this there. So when it comes to the bipartisan talk, one, we need to appreciate the initiative from both sides. You see, I have always said, and I'll continue to say, the irony about war is one, that it doesn't matter how long you take to fight. The reality is, at the end of it all, you'll come back to the table of discussion. So it is always reasonable and wise for leaders to start from the table. You get? Because if you start from the table, you save a lot of unnecessary deaths, unnecessary wastage of and destruction of property, which is destroyed and life lost because of war and conflict. So we need to appreciate the opposition and also the government. Secondly, I think from the appointment of the teams representative from the both side, it is clear that Mount Kenya region and the Gema community in large, we do not have a stake from the Azimio side. You can't tell me that out of all the people we have there, they don't trust any of the Kikuyus. So therefore, from where I sit, my good people from Central Kenya, forget about Azimio. Azimio, there's no hope for the Mount Kenya in Azimio. Azimio, the way they do their politics from the beginning, there are people who are selfish. You work with them as you start the journey. They lie to you that we are together. But when it comes to the important discussion, and when it comes to the appointment in government, they will never remember you. In fact, I'm worried of Martha Karua and Mwangi Iria and also Jeremiah Kioni, because I know for sure the proposal that I saw Council proposing is that once the office of the opposition leader is created and stationed in the parliament for both the National Assembly and also the Senate, Kalonzo Musyoka will be positioned in the National Assembly, Martha Karua in the Senate. But if you look at the lineup of the presidential election, Martha Karua is senior as per the appointment that she had as the running mate for the Raila Amolo Odinga than Karua. Then why would you take Martha Karua to the lower chamber? You get the point? Martha Karua is supposed to go to the National Assembly, and Kalonzo Musyoka to go to the Senate. Because in fact, even if you look at the composition of the National Assembly today and the Senate, Kalonzo Musyoka is so much senior to majority of the members of the National Assembly. He'll be so senior to them, they may not rhyme, right? But Martha Karua on her side, she'll be able to rhyme with them because of her candid discussion, and also she can be able to hold a strong position when it comes to registration. So I think, personally, from where I sit, the Gema community, the Azimio is not on your side. Finally, I want to appreciate His Excellency the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. He believes in the leadership of the
president, not the deputy.
The president, sorry. The President William Samoei Ruto. He believes in the leadership of the young people. How can it be that he appointed the majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah as just a young parliamentarian to do such an important discussion?
I think.
Do you get? Look at the composition of the people from the Azimio and also from the Kenya Kwanza. I think Ruto, from where he sits, he believes in the power of delegation. He doesn't have to be there. He believes that the people he have appointed and given the responsibility can be able to deliver. So I think, as a nation, as a young politicians, we are encouraged that where we can be nurtured and given opportunity to grow, and the person who trusts the leadership of the young people is none other than the Kenya Kwanza government.
Recently, we have seen the Deputy President, Rigiji, saying that he's against the handshake, and he has set traps everywhere huko kwa State House, na akasema ya kwamba Raila Amolo Odinga ama the Azimio team ikijaribu kumake a move ako pale. Then tukaona pia the Mount Kenya region MPs wakisema ya kwamba hawataki hizi dialogue za kuleta handshake. Do you think maybe that's the reason why the president saw it good to put the majority leader there, Kimani Ichung'wah?
No. I think the outcome of this discussion have two layers. One is what is supposed to be done immediately. Two, what are the reforms, the institutional reforms that are supposed to be carried out? One, the immediate effect is that the cost of living must come down. And if you look by all the policy formulations, the steps that the government is taking, it is clear that for sure, even without this dialogue, even without these bipartisan talks, the cost of living will come down. Right? Gas now, as you're speaking, is 900 from almost 13. 12.50 to 13. Yes. So it tells you, by the virtue of the policies and the intervention taken by the government, the cost of living will come down, not because of the discussions, but because the government is intentional about bringing the cost of living down. Two, if they're able to bring the cost of living down, there will be no discussion with Azimio. So the only thing that is substantial that will be remaining to be addressed is the issue of the IBC. Because personally, from all the issues that have been raised by the Azimio and also the Kenya Kwanza, one of the things that I find so critical, and I personally I would like to see it addressed conclusively, is the issue of the IBC. Because I've said, and if you remember, there's a clip that we did, and I was saying this, for the last 20 years, the thorn in the flesh of this nation is the issue of the election. Not because of the members of parliament, not because of the women rep, not because of the governors, not because of the MCAs, but because of the presidential election. So we need to come up with a model that after we do a presidential election, it will be final and agreeable and an election that is of integrity, such that the one who loses is able to go home and accept purely that he have lost. Two, we need to look at the formulation of the government structures. Is the presidential system the best system for us? Personally, from where I sit, I think because of our diversity, we need to embrace it and go for a parliamentary system. Because today, as we speak, do you know, in a presidential system, there's supposed to be the majority or the minority in the parliament. Do you know that? Because in a presidential system, the whole house as an assembly is supposed to provide checks and balance regardless whether you have voted with Azimio or Kenya Kwanza. But because you are so much used to the parliamentary system of governance, that's why today we have members of parliament who are still questioning the other members of parliament in the same house. Yet, under the presidential system, the establishment states that the whole house, the parliament, the registered as a house or as an organ of government is supposed to provide checks and balance to the executive. So I think from where I see, and this would be my proposal, that let us go for a parliamentary system of government. It is the best for us, and also let us check for our model of election, especially the presidential.
Okay, Wakili, in the last regime, we saw that the former head of state, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, tried to conduct Saganawan.
Sorry, finally, this issue of Gachagua kuweka mitego zile za kuzuia hardship and everything. There's an interview we did, and I said, if you look at the history of the hardship, or any time like have joined the government, there have been always a casualty. And the casualty have been always the person who is the deputy to the president. Gachagua suffered. Not Gachagua, Saitoti suffered. Kalonzo suffered when during the era of Kibaki. DP William Ruto suffered during the era of Moi Kibaki, of Uhuru Kenyatta. Therefore, if Raila comes into the government, the first person who will suffer will be who? Gachagua. If Gachagua suffers, what does the suffering of Gachagua translate to? Right? It means why Oscar Sudi and Joanna Ngeno and Samson Cherargei were complaining about. Now we shall start seeing Dende Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wah, Alice Wahome, and other members from the Mount Kenya region doing what Oscar Sudi was doing then, when the deputy president was being sidelined and being made ceremonial because of the hardship. So therefore, I don't think it will be healthy for a hardship, especially at this particular time, to look at what happened because of the hardship. Today, the crisis we are in economically was because of the hardship. There was nobody who could check the government, right? So because when the opposition comes to the government, and remember the opposition is the voice of the Kenyan who feel grieved or who feel their rights are being violated by the government. So when the opposition comes to the government, it automatically means that the voice of the people has been silenced. So the government will be at liberty to do whatever it thinks because there's nobody to question it. So I think for the sake of growth of our democracy and also the growth of our nation, economically and politically, I think, and I would suggest and uphold the position of the Deputy President Gachagua that let there be no hardship, and they should protect that door by all means to ensure that there be no hardship.
But we should have an office of the leader of the opposition.
It's okay because you see the opposition legally is supposed to be the voice of the Kenyans. Because remember, the person who is occupying the the office of the deputy of the opposition leader, for instance, let us say it is Azimio, they were elected by how many votes? Half of the country voted. So they have a right to air, or they need a channel to air their voices, to air their grievances. And remember, it's not only those people who voted as Mio that will benefit from the inactive opposition. It's the whole country, because look at what have happened with this financial bill for 2023. Is it only affecting those people who voted as Mio?
No.
It's affecting the whole country, because when Kenyans were speaking, it is not only the people from the zones or the region that voted as me that complained. It is the whole nation. But that voice was amplified by who? By the Azimio. You got the point. So when we have a strong opposition, we are safe as a nation. We are safe as Kenyans.
Point home. The last time, before he became the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, Rigiji was in Sagana State Road. Alisema ya kwamba yeye watakuwa anaita watu wake, wanakuja pale wanapikiwa mchele na nyama, na wamama wanapikiwa something else. Kauji nini ile kitu wanapenda sana.
Na wazee wanapewa ile kitu yao.
Na wazee wanapewa ile kitu yao. This time kuna another state road, Sagana State Road. Sagana sijui kama ni 1 ama 2 itakuwa ama ni aje. It is coming.
It's supposed to be 1 because of it's a new regime.
So do you think Gachagua will be able to control the Mount Kenya region leaders now waongee in one voice?
Let me tell you, and I'll be one of the defenders of the deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, and also the Kenya Kwanza regime. There is a plot, and there are propagandists out here who have been employed to make sure that they tarnish the name of the deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. There's a person going on calling our members of parliament, our senators, and also our able governors, and also the entire Mount Kenya region, Tûgeges.
Do you think Mount Kenya region leaders are Tûgeges?
I basically don't believe that we voted Tûgeges. If you look at what is happening in Mount Kenya region, you look at what somebody like Mheshimiwa Betty Maina from Waranga she's doing. Look at what I follow a lot, the guy from Laikipia, Mwangi Kiunjuri. Look at what some of the governors are doing in Mount Kenya region. If you call them Tûgege, then you are mistaken, and you are wrong, because these people they were elected to serve people, and you can't give a birth to a child and you expect that child to start moving in 6 months, right? Whatever you are seeing, the crisis we have found ourselves in need to be sorted out. Let me tell you, and I'm sorry to use this analogy, especially to our Kikuyus. It says this, utongoria kana uthamaki ukorwo hana ta kioro. Ungithie kioro kore gikime iguru. Wae goita mai ume. Tusemani nayo kima murango-ini ucio.
Nguga niwe
wa me iguru. Niguo kana tiguo?
Niguo.
Na regio we makorire ha? Umakorire ha? Wongerera kana? Wongerera kana wanyita? Uguo utongoria ukoragwo hana uguo. What I'm saying in another languages, for the sake of do not understand Kikuyu, leadership is like this. It's like you going to a toilet and you find that toilet is spoiled, and you do not take measure to clean up the mess you have found in the toilet. So if I meet with you coming out of that toilet, which is already messed up, I will have no time to question you about who messed up the toilet. I will think it is you who messed up the toilet. So therefore, the leaders who have come in, they have first of all to clean up the mess they have found ourselves in. Then they leave the platform to implement their manifestos. So from where I sit, I want to congratulate the members of parliament from the central Kenya. This is a region that depends solely on agriculture and also business. So therefore, whatever is being fixed must be fixed for the sake of the people. So that guy calling our members of parliament or our elected members Tûgeges should start up and should look for something else to do, because you are an idiot and stupid and useless. We did not vote for Tûgege. We voted people who know what they are doing. We have a stake, and let me remind the Kenyans, our members of parliament, our governors, our senators, our women rep, they have the role to pray. And we as Kenyans, we have another role to pray to ensure that whatever they promise to do, they are able to achieve. They cannot do it alone. That's why For a government to succeed, it's a collaboration between those in power and also the public.
So what do you expect pale Sagana?
Second, I think one of the things that need to be discussed is that Gachagua, and I think Gachagua will be able to mobilize the Mount Kenya leaders. What I expect is one, Gachagua should give up the blueprint of Mount Kenya, where he wants the region to be in the next 5 years, such that when you're getting to 2026, or mid-2025 start, I think campaign and whatever you start, maybe from 2026 there, before we get to 2026, Mount Kenya region have already benefited a lot from the Kenya Kwanza government. Remember, we are the main shareholders when it comes, by the virtue of votes that we gave, we are the main shareholder from the government. Therefore, we cannot afford to lose, and we cannot afford to criticize this government. We need to work hand in hand with our deputy president, who is the most senior politician from our region, to ensure that if there are roads that need to be done, Kamani County, if it is for instance Kiambu County, governors and members of parliament, senators come together, go sit down with the deputy president. If it is Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Nyandarua, Nakuru, the same. Go sit with the deputy president because he is the senior most leader who can be able to lobby for. You get the point? Finally, the political agenda will also coming through because you see now what is happening. Yeah? There seem to be people are trying to divide and bring up a war between Gachagua and also the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta. And you see, it's a war that is very, very, very critically propagated to ensure that it dismantles Gachagua before 2020. Because remember, if Jubilee is able to recalibrate itself and come back again, it can be a threat to the current regime. And therefore, if we start this fight as a region between Gachagua and also the president, what will happen? It will deny us an atmosphere for investment, for growth, and the government or the president who is the leader of the government or the CEO of this company called Kenya will not come to invest where there is unconducive environment for investment. You look for other regions. Therefore, if you remember, that's why, if you remember that the last years of handshake, Uhuru invested so much on the Nyanza region other than the central region. Why? We had a lot of fights in the central Kenya because Gachagua and other were being called Takatanga, and the region seemed hostile towards who? Towards the president then, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So the only place he found acceptance and also a bit of a good investment atmosphere was those regions. That's why he took development to Nyanza and Western region. So I want to urge the Mount Kenya region. Let us stick together. Let us heed to our deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. Let us follow his directions politically, economically, to ensure that we benefit from this region. Because if we don't benefit from this region, then it will be so bad for us as a region.
Thank you very much, Wakili Maina Kamunya. But before I let you go, during the signing of performance contract, kuna ma-CS ambao walifungiwa nje, ikiwemo Moses Kuria. Na ikisemekana ya kwamba yule president aliyoko sahi ni mtu wa kifua kulingana na Edwin Sifuna. Na tunatarajia mengi kuona akinyanyasa even wale wako close na yeye sana. Kwa maoni yako, hiyo ilikuwa kunyanyaswa ama ni a certain kind of discipline?
I can tell you, we work from where, even from where I work, when the CEO calls for a meeting, I can tell you, we are there 1 hour before. A CEO you should never find a CEO already in the meeting. It's better that you don't come, right? So I think from where I sit, it was very shameful for my friend Moses Kuria and also Kithure Kindiki. And I think from how the president spoke that day, it should give them a sign. I have a feeling, and I don't know whether I'm right, and time will justify and prove maybe I am right or wrong. All those members who are PSS and also the cabinet secretaries, they should be very, very, very careful. I foresee a situation whereby he will be able to reserve almost the whole cabinet in the next 1.5 years. Because remember, the president from where he sits, he is under a lot of pressure to fulfill his obligations. Remember, you have seen bishops and churches that supported the president during the campaign now are saying We already know that the president cannot fulfill his agenda. He should come out publicly and apologize to Kenyans for lying, right? So, and the president have from what he spoke, he said he'll fulfill whatever he promised. So he is under a lot of pressure to ensure that whatever he told us, the voters, he'll make sure that he implement it. How will he be able to implement it? Every member of cabinet and also the civil servant have to work extremely hard and follow suit what the president is doing. If it is study, they have to study. If it to do research, they have to do research. If it to do collaboration with the public and also private entities to ensure that they fulfill and also they implement the policies of the government, they have to do it. Otherwise, they are going to face a very, very, very severe consequences in the next 1.5 years during the reservoirs.
Thank you very much, Maina Kamunya.
Yes.
Enjoy your time. And thank you for always gracing our show.
Welcome.
Na tell us your final comments ama uongee na watu wako pale nje. Ni watu wengi sana wanakufuata. Then uambie kwenye wanaweza kupata. This
Okay.
is the mic. Get the mic for you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Benda, for that time. For my viewers and also my fellow Kenyans, I want to really appreciate giving this opportunity to come and discuss with you. We never take it for granted. We know we speak because we know your reason, and also you are able to adjust and also make adjustment where it is necessary. As I said, my name is Maina Kamunya. You'll find me via, I have a YouTube channel called The Perspective Show. Although we have been silent a little bit, we are doing some renovation here and there, and in a few weeks time we shall be back. So expect us from The Perspective Show for these interviews and more. So I want to thank you very sincerely for having this time, and also urge you as Kenyans, wherever you are, please do not complain about what is going on. Let us ensure that we do our part as Kenyans. Wake up, work hard, ensure that you are loyal citizens, you are patriotic to your nation, and more so, whenever you feel that you are grieved by the policies and also maybe intervention that are taken by the government, do not neglect your constitutional right and freedoms. Voice up your concern and ensure that you are heard. We are all protected by the Constitution of Kenya that we gave ourselves in August 2010. So thank you very much. See you next time.